Hello, Collective. I hope everybody is taking care of themselves this weekend, post full moon and Scorpio. Just to give you a heads up, this energy will last for the next few days. And for everybody, it'll be different. It just depends on, your willingness to focus on what needs attention at this time and how you're allowing yourself to move through it and further release it. But I wanted to come on here and talk about something that I experienced today. And this could also be, it feels like this is a collective theme at this time. So I'm finishing this book I've been reading for a while. It's called Babaylan. Okay. I'm Filipino. And so this is a book about indigenous healing. Okay. And it's about spirituality and the need to decolonize the mindset and, go back to your pre-colonial roots, right? So I cleaned up my altar today and I rearranged it, and my ancestors are like, finish reading this book. There's only I think maybe 2 chapters left I have. And they're like, we're going to start you on a new book, which is The Way of the Healer. Okay. That's another Filipino Babaylan book also. So as I'm reading the book, I'm starting to get emotional because there's a story in the book. It's like it's a book that has many stories from many people in it. So it's edited by Lenny Mendoza Strobel, but the stories are written by multiple people who've either were born in the Philippines, came here, lived a life, and the call to go back home to their ancestral roots. So a bunch of the stories in here are written by different individuals. And the one story this girl was talking about, how she's on a spiritual journey in the process of decolonizing herself. In that moment, I started to get extremely emotional, and I felt it within my entire being. And yesterday with the full moon, I had mentioned in my energy update that, it felt very Day of the Dead-ish. And if you know anything about the Day of the Dead, it is, honoring your loved ones, honoring your ancestors. And as a Filipino, I also celebrate, All Saints Day, which is the same day. It's on November 1st. And so it came up for me that the reason why they wanted me to read this book is because at this time I am experiencing generational grief on a much deeper level. I have a picture of a relative on my altar from my mother's side who I never met before. And she's giving me visions of her life and how difficult it was, the discrimination, even against other Asians, this, that, and the third. So I start getting these visions and I'm getting really, really upset and just holding space for them. And as I'm reading the book, recently I've talked about new identity and how we're creating new goals. And my guides are telling me be sure to not only create a new identity for this next phase you're going into, but make sure your new identity is decolonized. And it makes so much sense because for me, my mother had come here from the Philippines, and a lot of things that she was conditioned to believe and learn, she passed a lot of that down to me. And as a generational curse breaker, I'm here to release all of that. And so they're telling me all these things. I'm getting these downloads. They're giving me all these images. I'm going back and forth reading the book. I'm writing in my journal. And so I just wanted to bring this up to you guys because there might be a need for you to tap into generational grieving. Okay. And it doesn't specifically have to even be around colonization, imperialism, anything like that. But this was for me because I have ancestors who were not from this land, but from another country. And what I'm getting from it is a lot of people right now, the emotional instability or the emotional turmoil that the collective could be feeling altogether is collective grieving. So if you're an empath, you are feeling the grief of everyone in the collective because, like I said before, we are all connected to some extent, right? So you are feeling this grief, this grief, or this deep emotional imbalance because someone else is going through that. And so if you're feeling that, please hold space for those people. And not only that, but you might need to help someone grieve, especially if you're feeling the collective grieving. Someone close to you might need to grieve. You might need to grieve, you know. And I'm not just talking about grieving a lost loved one or grieving through death. I'm talking about grieving through detachment, grieving through unconditioning your mindset, like the decolonization, right? Grieving from pulling yourself away from, you know, societal norms, detaching from your old life. Remember, I talked yesterday about, you know, a lot of people going through this like spiritual death and rebirth, you know? And so at this time, you're being called to tap into that grieving so that you are able to move on. You have to grieve who you used to be, your old life, the things you used to do. And there might even be like you know, a longing for something. That doesn't mean that you need to go back to those same people, places, and things and do it all over again. It's all it is like, so my guides right now are showing me the Six of Cups, which is nostalgia, but going back towards something. And for me as a reader, the Six of Cups has always had to do with like something from your childhood, something from, you know, a younger life, and also a need for inner child healing. And so as they're showing me the Six of Cups in my mind's eye, I'm it is confirmation that the collective grieving and or generational grieving that needs to be felt can also be directly related to your inner child. Okay. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention just to kind of bring you a little bit of clarity based on, you know, if you've been doing the work and you're just like, what is this uncomfortability? What is this, you know? And it's really that scorpionic energy because it's so intense. You know what I mean? It's very, it's like it's intense, and it really comes like a tower moment. You know what I mean? Like it comes in really quick. So I'm just bringing it to your attention. And you know, if it resonates, please comment down below and let me know if this makes sense to you, or you know, if this is something that is you know, bringing you a revelation or breakthrough in something. Okay. I will come back again in a couple days and check on you guys. And, you know, on Monday, I'll also do my weekly collective reading. But I hope this message resonated with you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.